So it is day 10 and the specialist relic has been revealed. To me right now this is the most bonkers relic there is, and it would go in tier 7 because it basically gives you the essence of finality, but it's cracked, right? Where you have every single special attack available, it also does 50% more damage, and every 15 seconds the next special attack you will do has no adrenaline cost. So already off the bat this is very powerful, because when you make an Iron Man, one of the things that a lot of Iron Men do is the Reaper grind to get the Reaper points to then unlock the alchemical Hydrix to make this item. It is such a long grind that players do it at the start of the account, and it's powerful, right? And because of this, I can see this being a tier 7 relic or a tier 6. But just to be safe, I'm going to put in tier 7, and if anything changes, I can reshuffle things around. Because I think relative to everything else that we've seen, it is so much better than everything else we've seen, which makes me think it's a tier 7 relic and not a tier 6. Even compared to the Ascension relic, it is so much more powerful than Ascension that it is, in my opinion, it is a tier difference between the two. This is something that now that we are getting more relics and the chart has been filled out, I don't know where to put Banker's Note, because it feels like a tier 4 relic, but then again it's also useless in tier 4, and I can see all the tier 4 relics being actually tier 6 relics because they are really powerful on their own. So I could just move them all up here, and that would just mean Banker's Note would have to be tier 4, which isn't bad, but it's not exciting. And then it's not exciting because those first 4 relics are okay for the most part. I could see this either or, right? Honestly, I can go back and forth between the tier 4 and the tier 6 relics. Right now, Ascension is by Specialist, is by far the best relic, and I am looking for more cracked relics. I want to see more things that are exciting, but this is really exciting. Followed by Ascension the other day, and now I just want to see more of this. I want to see where everything falls into place and what the possible strategies that you can start forming. But this relic is broken. But one thing I'm wondering is how is the damage calculation going to work on this? Because I'm not sure how the technical side works, but because I'm going the melee path, what I'm wondering is the damage calculation going to be based off of the level of weapon I'm using, and it doesn't factor in the additional 500 damage I get for my melee perk, or would that be included? I'm not sure based off of those calculations, but it shouldn't really matter, honestly. It's just one of those niche things that if you think about how does it work, you might just get confused, because it could be one of these things. Because with the melee perk, if you get a Dragon Halberd, which is a tier 60 weapon, and you get the melee perk, that now becomes equivalent to a Nox Scythe, which is crazy in terms of power level. Which, if the calculation is simply based off of your level, then you would still need to go for those upgrades. And again, you're going to do this anyway, but it's just one of those weird things that you think about and you wonder how does that interaction work. Anyway, since then, I've also started making my early game plan, and these are things that I am hopefully developing as those last few days come in. But this is what I've locked down on what I want to do. So my tier 1, 2, and 3 relics are Divine Woodcutter, the Thieving one, and the what's this one called? I forgot what this one's called. The Nexus one. And my thought process for this is Divine Woodcutter helps me train 6 skills versus the Archaeology one, which was 5, because you get woodcutting, you get fletching, you get fire making, you get divination, you get hunter, because chronicle fragments can give you hunter XP, which scales based off of your hunter level times 10. Obviously, you apply the multipliers within the leagues, that will go that will go hard. You also then have the thieving and the Nexus Relic, I think that's what it's called, I can't remember it off the top of my head. But the reason I'm doing this, rather than going for the farming Relic, is because I am anticipating there will be a lot of early game points that will be locked up behind clue scrolls. And easy clue scrolls can easily be gained through ham members. Mediums can be gained through killing Yetis, which require a quest unlock. I need to check back on the quest list on what quests are auto-completed, and then killing Hellhounds will also yield hard clue scrolls, and I expect that these tasks that relate to clue scrolls would offer a lot of points earlier on, especially because tier 1 to um, tier 1 to 1, 2, 3, 4 seems very reasonable, but then the gap between tier 5 seems very huge, which is why I think that's going to be like the bottleneck for a lot of players, and needing points is probably the best thing you should focus on, which is why I went for the Thieving Relic, because that would get me a reasonable source of easy clues that I can do early on to get those points, and then also I've also considering all the generic tasks that would be available, right, based off of previous leagues. So equip full set of X gear. I reckon that's probably gonna start from Mithril at the lowest level, and then it'll go up to Addy, Rune, Dragon, and then all of the unique weapons and items you get, like barrel sets, bando sets, all these type of things. Complete minigames is also something that I would assume a lot of generic tasks will do. RuneScape really does not have that many mini games, or that many useful mini games, I should say. A lot of them are very generic, tied to dailies, like Gothixian caches are tied to dailies because you can only do them twice a day. You get the divine, I forgot the divine, whatever the hell it's called, the armor that gives you 6%. That's really useful. Yeah, and then inventions, right? And then reach X skill to all levels, right? I don't know how that will work with invention, because typically OSRs doesn't have invention. I guess invention might be excluded from that, but if you reach X total level, I'm guessing those will also be a lot of easy points that you can get for your early game progression. I'm going to carry on updating this. I'm going to hopefully fill it out by next episode and see what more I can put onto the early game chart and what we can hope to anticipate for the future.